Welcome to Ring the Damn Bell, and man, do I have a special show tonight. Not only do I have the legendary Bob Cook, as always on Tuesdays, but tonight I have the legendary B. Brian Blair from the Killer Bees. How are you, Mr. Blair?
I'm doing good, KG. Glad to be on your show.
Thank
Uh,
you for coming. It's an honor. And as always, not so much of a legend, not a legend at all, is my other co-host, my best bud, the wrestling enthusiast, Mark. What's going on, man?
Well, after that, I don't know what to say.
no,
Man, I gave you a pretty
poor
stellar
Mark.
introduction on last week to go over. So I got to keep your ego in check.
Okay, so that's carrying me over. I see. All right,
Absolutely, absolutely.
fair
Before
enough.
we start the recap
Mark,
of
you look
Monday
like
night,
you're standing in an elevator.
In the
Keep the
quietest place
music
I
down.
know.
We don't need no copyright strikes. Keep the music down.
before we start this recap of Monday Night Raw, I just want to remind everybody that Saturday, March 29th at Fairless High School in Navarre, Ohio, is an amazing event happening. It's a professional wrestling event, but all the proceeds is going to fight autism. Uh, Look, they can't be anything better than this. It's going to be a great show, and you get to feel good about spending your money knowing that it's going to try to help people with autism. Mike Knox is going to be in a show. Trevor Murdoch. You're going to have a Universal title match. So if you guys are in Ohio, check it out. Again, Navarre, Ohio, March 29th. And you can get tickets at Eventbrite. And one other thing, real quick, it has been it has been my mind went blank. Cody Cody
Spit it
Rhodes has,
out.
I know, damn it. Cody Rhodes has really been hurt. There's speculation that was just a rumor or that it was some type of work, but it's not. His ear was busted, his eardrum was busted, and he had a pretty nasty black eye. They're saying that this happened at the hands of Trevor Scott, which leads me to the question real quick before we get to the recap. Should entertainers who have not been trained in professional wrestling be allowed to touch the wrestlers? It's one thing to be there to try to get the casual fan invested, but you put your hands on that professional wrestler. What do you guys think about this?
Should who be allowed?
Entertainers, entertainers who were not trained in professional wrestling, they're there to make an appearance. They want to
Well,
get involved in
everything's
it.
scripted. I mean, KG, probably, everything that happens is scripted or they're going out. They're going out. Security's taking them out. So uh, it's just the way it is now. It's it wasn't so much like that when Bob and I were, even though wrestling's always been a work, but we didn't have scripted things from A to Z. Anything you see happen just about on an AEW or WWE stage, any stage you see, at least a main event show stage, is planned ahead of time, and if not, security throws them out. So, but whether somebody should be allowed to be touched, I mean, there are sporadic times, yeah, when a fan will just get crazy, some mark will get crazy and just jump up and do something really stupid, but again, they're going to be escorted out. And I don't think that, personally, it's like, working against really green guys. I can't stand it. I mean, it's like, in my later years, I refused, except for my, I think it was around 2018. I had my last match in 2019, and I worked against two green guys uh, at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in Iowa and in Waterloo. And I wouldn't say, I mean, to me, you're green until you've been working for at least 4 years and it's not how many years you've worked, it's how many matches you've had. Until you've had, 3,000, 2,000 matches, 1,500 matches, you're still fairly green. At least 1,000. I mean, what would you say, Cooker?
I agree. And but to go back to the Travis Scott thing, he was probably told to do it, and things happen. You know,
Yeah,
he was in the moment too. I mean, that was a huge moment. Even I went, "Holy crap!" when that happened. It was great, and he was just into the moment. He hit Cody in the wrong spot. He got a little overexcited, and so what? It happens.
yeah. I mean, that kind of stuff definitely happens. I mean, we've all been hurt. Everybody's been hurt from, people getting excited in the moment, even people that aren't so green. And it's, something that happened, I guess.
And I don't know who Travis Scott is particularly, but obviously he's somebody important, and he brings views to the product, which is the goal. Views to the product equals money in the pockets. Not mine, of course, but somebody's.
That's right. That's right. Always entertaining, Cooker.
I had no idea who Travis Scott was up until Saturday night.
That's a lie. You have all his albums. We've been told the stories, but just keep it on the kayfabe. I know.
Thanks, Cooker. I can always count on you.
Yep.
So, well, I just hope Cody heals quickly.
He's still got what, 6 weeks before Mania? He'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's the kind of guy, he'll work with a broken eardrum or a broken leg. I mean, he's just that kind of competitor. Cody Rhodes is a great kid. I mean, I used to watch him and his brother play basketball on Orange Grove Drive here in Tampa over at Dusty's house. They'd go visit their dad, him and Dustin, and it was just, it's amazing how fast time flies. And, they're both incredible workers and incredible talent, stars, wrestlers, whatever you want to call them. They're great at what they do, and they put butts in the seats. Cody especially.
Yep.
I mean, he's on top right now, and the only reason he's on top is because he puts butts in seats.
All right, KG, what you got next?
What's that?
Uh-oh.
What do you got next?
His mic's not working. Unbelievable. That's it. Call Donald Trump. We're going to do the next executive order on bad mics.
I love it.
Well, looks like Mark's the show host.
Oh, shit. Now we're screwed.
Yeah, you're gonna be the host, Mark, because I'm not good at lip reading.
Guys, can you hear me?
There you
Guys,
go.
All right, you can hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
All right. So last night, man, Raw started on fire last night. I actually really enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
It's decent.
To be honest with you, I DVD'd it in total intention to watch it. I had a mishap in my guest house, and so I had to miss Raw, unfortunately, and plan to be on the show and give you a Raw recap. I apologize.
That's okay. Just having you on the show, is good enough for me. And
Let me
that.
Let me write that down for next week.
There you go.
Just your experience with professional wrestling, I'm sure that you'll be able to follow and have.
Oh yeah, because I watched the week before, and I mean, I love even though the product's so much different, I enjoy it, and you just got to kind of, as an older wrestler, it's hard sometimes. It was really hard adjusting to the new product, but I remember when Vince told me, I asked, why is everybody doing so many false finishes? And it's just like everybody is stealing each other's finish, and everybody's doing them as high spots. And he said video games. He said that's our number one multi-profit center is our video games. And the more moves that the wrestlers do, the more action, it makes it easier for the people that are, I'm not a gamer, but the gamers love that action, and they get it from watching the people in the ring. So it just makes total sense to me now that he explained that to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead and start with the recap.
All right, so we started with a recap of the Elimination Chamber, what went on, so forth. Then CM Punk comes to the ring like a rocket
Yeah.
He grabs the mic, tears apart the announcer stand, gets on top of it. He says, "Give me a name. We'll start out." So someone throw out The Rock's name. He called him a bald fraud and a fake title. Then they said John Cena, and he said John Cena's selling BS. Then he called out Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out to the ring, and these two lit up like a rocket. And they went at it for a good, I don't know, 5-6 minutes, all over the place. And actually, it was probably the highlight of the show, to be honest. Then we go back to a recap of John Cena turning heel, which
So
fired like 6 times last night that they had to recap John Cena turning heel. And I understand it's a big deal, but we don't need 6 times.
yeah, and let's go back to CM Punk.
I would have preferred 8 times, but that's just me.
Let's go back to the CM Punk promo, man. This is probably the best promo we've seen from CM Punk since he's come back to professional wrestling as a whole. I mean, he was fire last night. Him addressing The Rock, him addressing John Cena, saying that he wanted to give Cena the benefit of the doubt when he just told everyone he was going to be in the Elimination Chamber instead of qualifying. Turns out that CM Punk has been right for many years that John Cena is a fraud. And then that fight between Seth Rollins and John Cena. Look, if I was a betting man, I would have bet they were throwing real punches, that those punches were connecting because they looked pretty good in my opinion.
You'd lose that bet, but okay.
Well, I'm sure they weren't, but it looked like it. I mean, they did a really good job last night. They looked like they were legitimately mad at each other. The way that they were pulling hair and stuff like that. Yeah, I enjoyed that first segment.
Well, that's the whole idea, is to captivate your imagination. I mean, I wouldn't sell if somebody completely missed me.
Right.
You know, it's if you can't take a little bit of punishment, you shouldn't be out there. It's just the way it is. I mean, guy, in the heat of the moment, you're getting sputted all the time, and you just don't hit anybody in the nose or knock their teeth out, and you hit them in the right places, and you know, it's just you know, there you look at the master of the punch, Bob Cook. I still felt his punch. Trust me.
Oh, see that's what I was going to say. That was just a polite way of saying he still hasn't forgiven me for 2010 here in Punta Gorda, Florida.
No, it's just the way it is, and you know, that's it makes it, it. You have to be captivated. You know, somebody goes out there and misses a punch by a foot. You know, it's just like if you watch Superman versus Batman on TV, and you know, Superman goes to hit Batman with something and misses him by 2 feet. You know, it's not going to really captivate your imagination. It's got to be real. You know, you got to be hyped up in the moment and you know, ready to take it and give it. And you've got 2 great competitors. CM Punk, I mean, I love the guy. He's great. You know, he worked really hard for the CAC, for the Cauliflower Alley Club, and he's got a great heart. He's I got to know him. He's very respectful for, you know, those that paved the way. And Seth Rollins, you know, he's another great talent. And you know, I love the the Seth Rollins music. It's especially the entrance music is off the chart. It's just great stuff. I mean, wow, I get chills thinking about Monday Night Raw.
That shows you the importance of a punch, though. You can't build something up like that and then go out there and punch your own wrist or throw lame punches, because it automatically takes you out of the moment as an audience. You have to, if the better the punches look, the more they believe it, the more they believe, the more they're into it, the more they're into it, the more money we all make. Well, except me again.
So the question is, though, we went and seen later on that they actually booked a match between CM Punk and Seth Rollins for next week on Raw. My question is,
in a steel cage.
In a steel cage, but is this a match they shouldn't be giving away? Well, I guess now in the PLE world, everything is free. But I'm still so used to having those type of matches at a pay-per-view, but again, PLEs are free as well. So that my question is moot. I guess.
Yep. But if you notice, even the, as long as they're packing the house shows, it's okay, to give away the product, because you're creating a bigger viewer, a bigger audience, and by creating a bigger audience, you're creating larger ad revenue. And because much of that is based on who's watching the show. Obviously you're not going to pay as much as an advertiser for a show that's getting less ratings. You want to be in your demographic, and you want to hit those people, as many people as possible, with the best ad that you have. And when when people turn on the television sets, it's creating money for everyone but Cooker.
But not to also mention, we don't know what the plans are beyond next week. That could just be their blow-off match, and then from there they're going to go against someone else at Mania. We don't know. That's why it's important to sit back, relax, pop an ice cold Mountain Dew. Don't bother me, but have yourself a fun time.
Yep.
Might have to get up and get another one.
There you go.
Well, that's some insight that Kevin and I don't have and aren't privy to. But as a fan, I kind of agree with Kevin. I probably would have, pushed us out to WrestleMania, but you got to have a storyline built to it too.
Right.
Yeah,
who knows what's coming after that?
Yeah.
They might be planning something with bringing back AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Boom, a mixed match.
It could be, it's like Cooker said, it could be anything, but generally you don't go right into a cage match. You might have a lumberjack match first, and then all of the lumberjacks get involved, so you can't keep them out. So the only thing that's going to work is a cage match. So you build up to the cage match. So it would have made more sense in my booking mind to have like a lumberjack match or something to keep them inside the ring. And that's how, at least that's old school booking.
But didn't Punk and Rollins have a great match on Raw, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, whenever it was?
Mm-hmm.
In the main event?
I think it was January 1st, wasn't it?
Oh, it might have been the first Raw. I don't know. I can't remember yesterday.
Right.
I remember I got out of bed at some point and regretted it the rest of the day. Kind of like today. I lived the Groundhog Day.
Oh, that's funny.
But Jack, you were able to look forward to seeing this beautiful face all day, though. I mean, what more could you ask for in life?
Well, I could ask for about 13,470,000 more things.
But he got
That's what my wife says as well. I don't get it.
Yeah, but your wife's good looking. I can't figure that out, but someone could. Smarter than me, I'm sure.
Oh, all right, Mark.
All right, so next we go backstage with the Judgment Day. Their typical blame game. Not much more to say that. Dom's still trying to pitch getting a new member. And I'm sure they're going to get one come sooner or later, but
it's going to be Rey Mysterio. It's going to be Rey Mysterio. I'm predicting it now.
It's the year of the heel turn.
Right. All right. So then next we go to Otis versus Gunther, which really kind of surprised me, but okay.
Go ahead.
Gunther put pretty much a statement about Otis, and he pretty much told no lies. He pretty much said, "You don't deserve to be in the ring with me," So everything Gunther said in his opening statement was pretty much true, I thought.
But isn't Otis a shooter? He better be careful what he's saying.
Well, I tell you what.
Otis may have a heart attack choking on a chicken wing and catering, but when it comes to a shoot, Gunther might be in trouble.
Last night.
But I got to say, if I'm choking on a chicken wing, I want Maxine to give me the Heimlich. That's what I want.
Last night exposed Otis, but not in a bad way. Mm-hmm. It exposed Otis for actually how good he could be if he's actually put in a match that where he needs to be serious and take his opponent serious. Otis was fantastic last night. I was really surprised at how well and how much I liked this match last night.
Okay, but I've got a question here. What the hell is a dinosaur dropkick? I've never heard of that in my life.
It's a very old dropkick.
Yeah.
Probably hits him in the chest rather than the head, a little bit lower. I don't know.
I don't even remember that. What did it look like?
I don't know. My tag team partner had the best drop kick in the business, jumping.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, I've seen him jump 6 feet straight up in
But
the air.
was it stiff? Was it stiff? Because I never took it. Was it stiff?
I never took it either.
Oh, because Dean Malenko had a drop kick. He could drop kick you off the top rope right in your face, and all you felt was the bump, but the crowd went, "Holy crap, he took his head off." That's a great drop kick too.
Yeah.
I just had never heard of a dinosaur drop kick. I thought it was just a Michael Cole being a putz again.
It's
I don't
just
know.
the name. It's just the name.
Oh, okay. All right. So, anyways, Gunther continues to pummel Otis after the match. His little Asian buddy.
Was that racist? I'm just curious.
Not inadvertently.
My wife would say no, and she's Asian, so
It's 2025. Everything's racist, isn't it?
He tries to help out. Jay Uso comes
Shame.
up. Jay gets the best of Gunther. A-Town comes out to beat on Jay. Jay overcomes the 2-on-1 odds. And then Gunther comes, slaps a sleeper on Jay, and puts Jay out. Now, going by what I've seen in the past, if this continues on, Jay could end up being a world champion at WrestleMania.
yeah, I would say Gunther's going to retain it, in my opinion, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm starting to question it.
Gunther bores me to death, and Jay annoys me to death. So I don't care who wins. Just get it on, get it off, and move to the next match.
That's where I disagree with you, Bob. I know Gunther. I love Gunther because I love technical professional wrestling, and that's exactly what he is. He is.
Well, why don't you divorce your wife, give her my number, and you marry Gunther? There you go. That's a plan. That's a plan.
I mean, he makes more money, so
Keeping the family, right? No, Gunther, I agree with you, KJ, that
That's it.
that Gunther is I like technical wrestling too. I mean, and he's really good. He's sharp. Whether he could hold the strap, I don't know. You just have to see him in that position. You're in a whole new world then.
Yep,
to carry the company.
That's true.
All right. So next we go to a vignette about Rhea and Io Sky.
Do you see this? Do you see this dirty towel? It's got more personality than Gunther.
Gunther's along the same lines as Dean Malenko, Lance Storm, a dozen other guys. Yeah, he doesn't have the greatest personality, but in ring, I think the guy can go, to be honest.
But in real life, Dean Malenko is one of the funniest people ever. So figure that one out.
I don't know, but you put a camera in front of him and a mic in front of him, and he's dry as ice.
Yeah, it's like.
Technically, he was only doing what he's told. So let's not get crazy.
I don't know. I think the real Dean Malenko. I think there's maybe better than him in the ring.
He was even joking around at his own father's funeral. That's Dean Malenko.
Yeah. I mean, the same can be said about Lance Storm. I've heard plenty of people say that Lance Storm is a very personable, great guy, but
who?
Lance Storm.
Oh, we don't care about Lance Storm.
But he fits in that same.
I'm just kidding.
Same group of people you're talking about.
But that's when you take them and put them with a Paul Heyman or a mouthpiece. You got to put them with a mouthpiece. And when you do that, it's like Roman Reigns. He couldn't speak at all at the beginning. He's gotten, he's come a long, long way. But some people are like that. They're just they come off in a drier sense and. Normally, I mean, a lot. If they plan on doing something with them, then they'll put them with one of their top mouthpieces. So we'll see.
I'm thinking Liv Morgan is a top mouthpiece. Well, that's a different subject.
All right. So next we go to a YouTube recap of Xena turning heel and everybody's reaction, pretty much.
Yeah, there were a lot of kids crying over that.
There were a lot of adults crying over that.
Yeah, there was. I thought it was funny.
I did too, actually.
But you know, one thing that's been all though there's one question that's been all over the internet, and that question is, whose heel turn was bigger, Hogan's or Cena's? And I said
Hogan.
Hogan all day long.
Yep.
You could not see people throwing garbage into the ring when Cena turned heel. When Hogan turned heel, if it wasn't nailed to the ground, it was going in the ring.
Yep.
No, Hogan by all means was a far bigger turn.
At the time Hulk Hogan turned heel, WCW was down, WWF was down. Hogan's turn revitalized the entire business. It made WCW skyrocket. It made Vince dig deeper and come up with the Austin Threes, the whole thing. Hogan's was much bigger. Now, Cena's was awesome, don't get me wrong, but Hogan's was bigger.
Yep.
But I don't hate Hulk Hogan like all these other overbearing, obnoxious, pig-faced bastard marks. I respect Hulk Hogan, and I've never met him. Remember I mentioned that to you once before, Brian?
Well, you know I'm biased.
Well, I know you are. That's why I said I've never met Hulk Hogan, but I've mentioned that to you a few times.
We got to be in the right place at the right time.
I know. That's what I...
He's a busy man right now. I mean, he's more popular right now than he's ever been.
He's traveling all around selling his beer.
Great American Beer is kicking booty. They're building. They're actually building a restaurant across Hogan's restaurant across from Madison Square Gardens.
Oh, awesome!
He's got so much stuff cooking right now. It's just amazing, amazing. And you know, God bless the wrestling fans for keeping the legends alive. And it's very humbling. And Terry is. He's a workaholic. He never stops. Gets up in the morning at about 5 a.m, hits the gym. It's the same thing. At 70 years old, he's working just as hard as he did when he was 30.
I tell you what, one thing that I would love to see, this is big dream booking now. Since people want to boo Hogan, I say let's make him even more wealthy on it, and let Tessa Blanchard come out to the ring in WWE with Hulk Hogan, the manager. And they will get so much heat and they will make so much money off of it. That's what I want to see.
Oh, it's a great thought.
Because I am a huge Tessa Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard is my favorite female wrestler of all time. She is in the top 2 best female wrestlers walking this earth right now, in my opinion.
Her father was a real asshole. Can I say asshole? That's right. Tully Blanchard was an asshole.
Maybe, but he was damn good, in my opinion.
Yes, he was.
So I just had to bring that out there.
Yeah, but he's a changed guy.
Now he's changed, but I'm talking about back in the day. The 4 horsemen could walk in the dressing room: Ric Flair, Ole Anderson, Arn Anderson. They'd all shake your hand, ask you how you doing, ask you how your family was. Tully would walk by you with his nose in the air.
Yeah, well, I'd just be grateful to talk to Arn and everybody else. Flair. And, you just got to let somebody.
Oh, I was. Don't get me wrong, I was.
Yeah,
I would be grateful to talk to the guy who shined Ric Flair's boots.
Tell me about it.
Speaking of Ric Flair, Brian, we need his name on the plaque, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, so because he's so local. You're right. Yeah, maybe I can.
And his best friend is Joe Gomez, and he was at the last lunch.
Exactly.
Yeah, before this podcast ends, I want you to talk about the Cauliflower Alley Club.
Absolutely, love to.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been trying to talk about it on most of my podcasts. I skipped it tonight because you were here. I prefer to have the master.
We couldn't do it without Bob Cook. I mean, he does a heck of a job with our social media, and it's a tough job. I mean, he's always got to keep the fresh posts going, and that's kind of the lifeblood. Between the website, social media, it's very, very important to the CAC. And then the honorees that we bring in are tremendous. And again, I mentioned CM Punk. He was amazing, and we got some great stuff planned for CAC when you get ready to talk about it.
So let's get to this recap.
Yeah,
ready to do it.
Yeah, we're doing something this year for the first time ever. We're going to do. I met this guy, Barry Colon, and he owns 30 comedy clubs. So he's always trying to do something for the CAC. We have some tremendous supporters. I can't begin to name them all, but he came up with an idea of a roast, asked me a bunch of questions. I gave him a bunch of answers. And so I got Mick Foley to commit. So Mick Foley will be there, not only receiving the Iron Mike Mazurki Award, but he's going to be roasted by some of the top comedians in the business and some of the top wrestlers in the business. And it's going to be absolutely hilarious because there's so much material there on Mick Foley. I can't even imagine the Mr. Sacco jokes that are going to pop up. So that's going to be a blast. That's on Monday, August 18th at the Plaza Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. And there's a ton of great talent there.
Has that been announced yet? Because I don't remember seeing it.
No, we haven't announced it yet. First announcement right here.
Where's my phone? Oh, wait, it's right there, actually.
Yep, there you go.
We made it, Mark. There's been a first time announcement on our podcast, my man.
Ring the damn bell. Mick Foley's getting roasted at the CAC in August.
And I've said it many times, Mick Foley's one of the true good guys in the business. One of the few guys that might actually be too good for the business. I don't know.
I don't want to. Mick Foley he's a tremendous competitor. He takes everything he does, he has a passion for, whether it's writing books, whether it's helping people, and especially entertaining people in the ring. I mean, that guy, I'm surprised he's walking right now. He took hardcore. I mean, he invented hardcore. Mick Foley, he was doing hardcore before anybody was doing hardcore. He was the king of hardcore.
And you know what's crazy about him? I traveled with him. He wouldn't drink. He wouldn't even take aspirin, but he would do all that crazy stuff. And he wouldn't complain either. He wouldn't just sit around and go, "Oh, I hurt." Well, take an aspirin. No, he wouldn't complain or nothing.
Never complain. Everything's happy. Have a nice day, brother.
I thought that was a gimmick.
That's Mick.
I guess it's true. When you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's exactly right, Mark. Exactly right, brother. And, I love my job. I loved it. And I still love it. I love working in the professional wrestling industry, whether it's helping people, whether it's doing autograph sessions, selling action figures, whatever it is. It's still a lot of fun. And, every town we go to, we'll be in Stockholm, New Jersey, April 6th. And we're going to go up to Canada. We'll be up in Quebec or Montreal. We're in a lot of places coming up this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing a lot of old friends and meeting a whole bunch of new ones.
Awesome. All right, Mark.
All right, so next we go to an interview with AJ Styles. Karrion Kross comes out, pretty much talking about Logan Paul. AJ informs him that next week he's calling out Logan Paul. I didn't really realize there was some sort of beef between these two. I must have missed something.
Yeah, so the last time Logan Paul was around, they actually had a feud and a match. I can't remember which Kelly it was, but they were definitely involved in something. So I guess they're trying to possibly reignite that. The question is this something that is going to go on into WrestleMania? Because AJ Styles needs to be an all. I mean, there's just no way about it.
Well, that goes back to the old theory of watch and see.
Yep.
Will set you free. Don't speculate. Don't criticize. Don't critique. Just let it play out.
Well, I just want to see look. AJ Styles and Paul in the ring together. They're it's magic between those guys. Logan Paul is just amazed me of how quick he's put on to this sport, and now with him being full time. If he was able to do that well part time, I can only imagine how good he's going to be full time.
I agree. He's caught on quicker than 99% of the people do. For the amount of experience he has, he's really caught on. He's just a tremendous athlete. When you're a tremendous athlete, it's a lot easier. It just comes. it comes natural. Just that competitiveness, you want to grind, you want to be the best you can be. And, you're not used to taking second place. You want to be the best. And that's what Logan Paul's done. And AJ Styles. I mean, that guy, he just brings it every night, every show. I mean, over and over and over. I mean, he's just like a Timex. He just keeps on ticking.
He's phenomenal. Oops.
Should have
Mark.
seen that one coming. Should have seen that one coming.
Mark, real quick, if you notice your mic being turned off and on, that's me. For whatever reason, when other people talk, I'm getting a lot of feedback, and it's coming from you because I tried to mess with my stuff, muted myself, what's still happening. And as soon as I muted you when people are talking, it stopped. So just let me like a little hand wave because I want you to be able to, obviously, my co-host, participate in this as well.
Gotcha.
Well, that's what happens when you do a podcast in an elevator.
I know.
That's like a known fact. It's like technological knowledge that you should have known before you even started the show.
It looks like Trump Plaza. I can't see the that elevator, but
Bob,
where's Melina? Melina, is that her name? Melina, where's she at?
no, I'm not Mr. Moneybags like you, Bob. So I got what I got, man.
no, I mean, we're not knocking it. Nobody's knocking it. As a matter of fact, I'd like to have an elevator in my house. Like,
Yeah.
All right. Next, we go to Lyra versus Ivy. Lyra was very aggressive in this match. I probably the first time I've seen her so aggressive. Ivy pulled an Anderson job by picking apart the body and just working it. I was really impressed with it, to be honest.
Did you see that ankle lock that she?
Yes, I did. I thought she was going to snap that ankle.
Oh my God! I was ready for her foot to fall off. My gosh, she has to be double jointed because she damn near had it spun completely around and then pushed all the way back towards her spinal cord. It just looks devastating.
Yeah, it did.
yeah, I saw some of that. It was amazing. Some of the the female talent has gotten outstanding. It's just amazing. Those girls, I mean, they're equal to the guys now. I mean, they're just they're amazing what they do. It blows my mind every time I watch them. It's great. And the psychology is getting so much better. It's not that I don't know, the even the sound in their voices is more it's more captivating. Everything they do, if somebody reaches and chokes you, you don't flail your hands out here. What would you do if somebody was choking you? You'd try to pull their hands off. So I mean, they're trying to pull their hands off and they slipping down and they fall off the cage and grab the next,
I would say thank God and finish me off, but that's just me.
Yeah.
No, I tell you, this past Saturday night at the Elimination Chamber, and Mark and I said, that was the first batch, was the Women's Chamber, and we're like, man, they really elevated the bar for the men to try to get to. And I'm telling you, the men didn't get there. The women had the best chamber match, besides the whole John Cena thing, obviously. But match for match, I mean, it was the women all the way.
What about the CM Punk? How does that compare? Seth Rollins?
No, I'm talking about Saturday night at the chamber.
I thought you said about Monday.
Yeah,
okay.
no, Saturday night at the Elimination Chamber.
Oh, the Elimination Chamber, yeah.
Yeah. The women's Elimination Chamber was a little bit better than the men's, in my opinion.
Plus, Jade Cargill came back.
Yeah, she did, and she looked like she missed no days in the gym.
Oh, she's in shape. She's got rippling out. I mean, it's like I said, man, these girls, they train hard, they work hard, and they perform well. I mean, it's just obvious. It's there's so much competition now, and NXT is just they're just grooming these people and shooting them out. I mean, there is so much talent just waiting to get there, but they gotta wait their time. It is what it is. I mean, it's a food chain.
Well, let me ask you. Let me ask you this. You and Bob actually. So, they always say that the Attitude Era, that locker room was the best locker room ever in professional wrestling. Do you guys agree with that in today's world? Do you think that the talent in the locker room, or at least as equal to the talent back during the Attitude Era, or does the Attitude Era still hold that the best talent there's ever been?
Um, in my opinion, I'll let Bob answer too, but in my opinion, it's all about the evolution of the sport and how you adjust the viewers' minds. Um, in my opinion, you can go back to shoot. The Attitude Era was tremendous. I mean, I enjoyed it. Personally, it was the hottest time for me. I mean, that was a great time where everything really came together, and then once you get a lot of they brought in a lot of writers and Hollywood stuff, and it's absolutely improved the quality of people's promos. Um, they're starting to get away into more natural looking matches, more non-rehearsed looking matches. For a while, it was getting so scripted looking, it was terrible. And in my opinion, and now they've really upped their game and they're kicking it in. So it's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, he's right. I think as far as today, I think the way Triple H is handling things and he's turning it back to a more professional wrestling type product where they actually can say the word professional wrestling. Not only does that make the workers, the wrestlers' morale go up, so naturally they're going to work harder. They all got a passion for it anyways, or they wouldn't be there. But when the morale is there and it's a positive morale, everything's going to fall into place and much better. There's always going to be someone in the corner who thinks they deserve more than they get. And most of the time it's their own fault they didn't get it. Looking at me right here, but that's the way it goes. Can't please everybody.
And it's like you said, Cooker, and Triple H is a tremendous leader. He leads by example. I mean, what a worker Hunter was, and
Yep.
I'm sure he could go out and still he's got another match in him, but he sets the bar high, and he expects people to perform to that level, and they're getting paid to do that. So it's just what it is right now. You've got good leadership. I don't care if you're at Coca-Cola or IBM, or if you're in the WWE. You have good leadership and you got good morale, like Hooker said. Then you're going to have a great product. That's what they have.
And just like in the old days of the Attitude Era, not everything they do is great. You try things, you have ideas. They look good on paper and they turn out to be crap, or they don't look good on paper and they turn out to be gold. So everything Triple H does isn't gold, but it's certainly better than it has been when Vince was there and had all these rules, stupid rules. Can't say this, can't do that. Overthinking everything, micromanaging. Pro wrestling shouldn't be brain surgery.
That's true. That's definitely true.
If it was, I'd be a lot smarter.
And richer.
Well, I could use that. I'd rather be rich and stupid than poor and dumb. Wait a minute. That doesn't make... Wait a minute. Oh, never mind. See, I got flustered.
Rich and smart.
No, I'd rather be rich and stupid than poor and dumb like I am. That's why I was on the right track.
Okay. And poor and smart.
All right. So next we're going to recap the CM Punk's earlier rant. Interview with Seth Rollins. Him and Punk go at it again. Pretty soon you got Seth and Adam Pearce. Next week they announced the steel cage match, which we've talked about briefly earlier. Next we go to Ludwig in the ring.
I hate that guy. You know why?
Because his name is Tiffany.
Yes, because Tiffany Stratton is his girlfriend. I hate him.
Well, he's going over his issues with Penta. Claims he's going to be a future world champion. You know what? I disagree with this. I can see it, actually.
What? Him be a future world champion?
Yeah, I didn't say next year, but I could see it 3-4 years down the road. I could see it.
Well, let me just say that I don't particularly care for my life, but I'm praying for death if that ever happens.
He's just a bud right now. He's gonna boom.
Not a
Yeah,
fan.
he's like a mushroom. He's growing and crap, and he ain't going to get any bigger.
You got a point there. All right, so
But Tiffany, no matter how bad his life gets, is or was, Tiffany Stratton is his girlfriend, so he's okay.
champion. Tiffany's his girlfriend.
There you go.
Anyways, Penta comes out. They brawl a little bit. Ends up being Penta 1, Ludwig 0.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
It is what it is. I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't think it was great. It was just one of those things. In my opinion, I'm sure there's a lot of fans that loved it, and that's okay. Have our own
Fans actually loving something? That's a novelty.
You still have a few left out there that actually are true wrestling fans instead of idiots.
All right, so next we go to an interview with Bianca. They quizzed her about the whole Naomi Jade thing. She pretty much declined to comment on that until she got both sides of the story pretty much. Then we go to another recap of Xena turning heel, but in different languages. Which I thought was mildly amusing, to be honest.
I thought English was the American language. What's going on?
Nah, it is, as it should be, but I think they were showing it all over, the reactions from all over.
Oh, that's true, because it is Netflix. It's all over the world now.
It's a worldwide product. It has been for 40 years.
It has been. Are you talking about me? Oh, unbelievable.
No, man. We were going into like 160 countries in 1986, wow. WrestleMania 3.
Yeah. That's right. You wrestled at WrestleMania 3, didn't you?
Yes, I did. WrestleMania 2, WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 4. Big events. Wow. The big event was amazing. Survivor Series, first Royal Rumble.
They just put the big event on YouTube.
When we first went overseas, like to Australia and Europe, those places were just rocking. They were packed, and I mean packed. And then because we were, the WWF at that time had gone worldwide. The television had gone worldwide. Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans, booked a tour in Russia in 1993, and Ken Patera, Bam Bam Bigelow were on the tour. A bunch of other guys. And we worked in Moscow for 3 days, and it was sold out. You couldn't get a ticket for three events. There was a day in between each event. You couldn't get a ticket. And all those Russian politicians had wads of $100 bills. It was an amazing tour. But in Australia, in Sydney, everywhere, it was just packed. You had people like John Thorogood, wanting to sit at ringside, and the stars were all coming out, Los Lobos, and these guys that were hot back then, these rock and roll bands. They were just, wrestling just caught on fire then. That's started with WrestleMania, and first WrestleMania, and just caught fire.
Let me ask you a question. It's actually a two-part question. The first part is, how long had you been wrestling from the time you started wrestling to the time that you made it to WrestleMania? How long had you been wrestling at that point? And the second point is how long were you and Jumping Brazil, your partner, your tag team partner, how long were you guys together before you went to WrestleMania?
Jumping Jim and I were together for 4.5 years. I had been wrestling. I started in 1977, and WrestleMania 2 was 85, I believe. Yeah, 85.
86.
WrestleMania 2.
86, yeah.
No, WrestleMania 3 was 86, was it?
Nope, that was 87. I don't want to correct you. I'm sorry. But,
You're right. Well, I got a bump on my head.
I didn't do it.
No, yeah, you did, man. You potatoed me a couple in 10. But no, yeah, since that very first WrestleMania, uh, 85, it was the whole business caught on fire, and Vince gambled big time. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard all the stories, but oh God, I remember 84 before WrestleMania started, and everybody was getting, like, Tito Santana and I were, Vince had already picked out, like, the players he was going to have for WrestleMania. Of course, Hogan was going to be the number one baby face, and Orndorff and Piper were going to be the number one heels. And so you had to have people get those guys ready. And so it wasn't like you threw a whole bunch of talent at them. So Tito Santana and I were like getting Orndorff ready. So at every house show, we booked every night and run sometimes 3 towns. Back then, you had to look on, were you on the A town, the B town, or the C town? Like the tag team, we main event the B or the C town, and then we go be in the middle of the card wherever they put us in the A town, and the business was on fire. It was totally on fire back then, and as the demographics expanded and television expanded, it's made everything bigger. But when we started those first overseas tours in 1987, I believe it was 87, yeah, same year as WrestleMania 3. It was ludicrous. It was crazy. I mean,
so you were part of the first WrestleMania as well, you said?
I did. I wasn't on WrestleMania 1. I came back to Florida to be the Florida heavyweight champion and try to carry the Florida territory, and made a deal to come back. And so I came back right before, a little ways before, I don't know, 6 months before WrestleMania 2, right after WrestleMania. And we Jumpin' Jim and I got together in Brantford, Ontario, never met each other. And it was funny. George Scott came up to us and said, "Hey, you guys, I got a phone call because Vince Sr. wanted me to come back, and I had agreed to come back and work for the Intercontinental title. That was really what I wanted to do." And Hogan and Vince called me and said, "Hey, we're creating this tag team division. And it's not going to be any tag team division. This is going to be a great tag team division." And, I made the deal I made, which I got lied to, but it wasn't Terry. It was, I don't know how much it was Vince, but it's a long story. But, we had a great run, great time, but it was great, just being the foundation of all of that stuff. And we couldn't, of course, done it without guys like Bob that worked hard. Everybody had a spot, and everybody worked hard. And it was a culmination of even the guys before us, Bob Orton Sr., the Angelo Paffos that were today, those guys that all gave us the chance, Cooker and I, the chance to make a living in the business. And, it just plateaued and crescendoed from there.
But
I got fired from a job I had at the time because of WrestleMania 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I was working as a security guard, and I told my boss that, hey, I needed that day off because I got tickets for WrestleMania to watch it on closed circuit TV at the Lakeland Civic Center. And he said, fine. And the day of the show, he said, you have to come in and work because we got no one to cover whatever shift. And I said, I'm not doing it. I'm going to WrestleMania. He said, well, you got to make up your choice, WrestleMania or your job. And I said, well, WrestleMania, here I come. And that's where I was, sitting there with a bunch of other people, thousands of people at the Lakeland Civic Center, watching it on a screen probably smaller than the TV I have now. Seriously.
I'm going to pick the same thing. But Brian, I do have a question, though. So at WrestleMania 2, were you more nervous than maybe you normally get if there's like another big show that you're doing? I mean, because I imagine WrestleMania, I mean, that is something that,
to be honest with you, I really wasn't cagey. I had a lot of fun with it. We were in Chicago. They ran 3 towns in WrestleMania 2. They ran LA, Chicago, and New York. And we were having so much fun because in Chicago, it was a great town for the Killer Bees. I mean, we used to rock that place. Every match we had, I mean, we would rock it. And hats off to my partner Jim Brunzell and to all of our opponents. Whether I worked single matches. Prior to that, Chicago, for some reason, was one of my best towns. Chicago, Toronto. It's amazing how every talent will tell you they've got favorite towns where they're, like over more, at least in your mind, you are. And it came natural, and like all the Chicago Bears were there, like not all of them, but Bill Fralick and the Refrigerator and these guys, and so this is like going to be the first time, at least that I've ever seen, where there's going to be some rehearsal. So a bunch of the Bears come down because Vince wants everybody to know what they're doing. So Vince was way ahead of his time. And you got to give him credit, or you got to give credit where credit's due. And Vince was ahead of his time, and so he knew these guys could really screw something up. They're so green, whether it's a battle royal, no matter what it is. But it was great because Bill Fralick, who was a tremendous lineman for the Bears, offensive lineman, was a state championship wrestler, and all the Bears thought he was really a tough guy, big wrestler, and the Sheik stretched his ass, man. It was funny, great. So having some fun like that, it brought down the nerves. Otis Wilson came. I played football at Louisville, and Otis came, and he was a tremendous linebacker. He played for the Bears, actually. Got drafted from Louisville, and it just seemed like there were so many friends around me and being in a friendly atmosphere, there was no sweat. It was just another day at the office.
Hey, let me just say that, and Brian mentioned he had singles matches, and I'm not just saying this because I consider him a friend of mine, or he is a friend of mine. If you want to see true pro wrestling at its best, Brian against Paula Orndorff from any era was some of the best matches of that era, or of any era, is what I'm saying, but they were fantastic. So search those out, wrestling fans.
Paul Orndorff was,
And I'm being serious too.
Paul Orndorff was the one that I, as a child, that I remember both loving him and hating him. He was really good at getting to your emotions. But I tell you, and I think I've told Bob this story, no one ever played on my emotions more so than Ted DiBiase, because so I grew up in Louisiana watching Bill Watts and Spit South Wrestling.
Oh yeah.
And the Junkyard Dog and Ted DiBiase were my guys back then. Plus Mr. Wrestling #2. He's my favorite singles wrestler, because Junkyard Dog and Ted DiBiase were tag teaming at that time. And they were going for a #1. I think it was a #1 contenders match. I was maybe 11 years old, so 40 years ago. And Ted DiBiase, Junkyard Dog, inadvertently kicked Ted DiBiase out the ring. JYD wanted to check on him, and the ref was pushing him back. And that's the first time, at least since I don't see it, Ted DiBiase put on that loaded glove, turned on Junkyard Dog, knocked him out. I think that was probably the only time as a child that I came to crying watching the wrestling. I just remember being so angry at Ted DiBiase. I got to meet him years later. One of the most soft-spoken, nicest guy that I've ever met. Because I lived in the same town as Sonny King. I don't know if you remember that guy with that name or not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me and Sonny, but I guess when he retired, moved to Donaldsonville, Louisiana. That's where I grew up at, and me and his son.
What town?
Donaldsonville.
What was it?
Donaldsonville.
What was that close to? Because I don't remember working there, and I worked every time.
It was near Gonzales, Louisiana, which is near Baton Rouge.
Yeah, because we used to rock Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
I love Baton Rouge. We used to live there. I mean,
yeah. Well, Mr. Sonny actually brought a Smile House show, WCW. I don't think it was called WCW back then, but it was Ric Flair, Sting, brought back those guys to Donaldsonville for a Smile House show. But I grew up with his son. I mean, his son was a good friend, so I was able to meet Dr. Death, Ted DiBiase, the other guys as a kid, which was really cool. But yeah, Ted DiBiase will always be that one guy that really truly made me feel my first emotions within professional wrestling.
Yeah, that was a tremendous territory, Mid-South, Louisiana. Back when we had territories, that was Mid-South was Louisiana and Mississippi, Arkansas, Missouri, and Leroy and Bill split up, and but those were especially Louisiana was just a tremendous place to wrestle. I mean, from Shreveport to Larange and Homa,
Yep.
way in between New Orleans, and you just go all the way up. Is it 65 that runs through there?
Yep. Airline Highway. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
A1 Highway, beautiful, great
Yeah,
time.
and it was funny as now I moved to Minnesota 20 years ago. And one thing Minnesota and Louisiana, Mark and I have talked about this as a common is both of those states produce some amazing professional wrestlers with the AWA and yeah. So
Yeah, those were some great times. Hey guys, I got to cut out pretty quick.
okay,
I got like 3 more minutes or so.
okay. Why don't you?
We
Okay.
know you want. We know you want to go watch the Donald Trump speech. We know.
No, it's not that. And I'm DVDing it anyway. I got that Monday Night Raw. I got so much stuff to watch. And of course, I told you at the beginning of the show, I had I had a problem with my guest house. My hot water heater blew up. And
Yeah.
flooded. Yeah. Anyway.
But before you go, let's talk about the Cauliflower Alley Club.
I was going to say real quick, if you don't mind, KG, because it's a passion of mine. We help so many people. It's amazing how many people, just since our 59th reunion last August, we've given away, I believe, $85,000 to, wrestlers, in a tough time. We'll give away over $150,000, maybe $200,000 before our 59th reunion in August at the Plaza Hotel and Casino, where we'll have the Bushwhackers there. Well, Butch won't be there, obviously. Luke will be there. Tom Pritchard, of course, Mick Foley. We're working on some other really some great talent that will be there. I mean, every time, just let me see. Last year was that last year, 2020? No, we had. I'm looking at CM Punk, but no, we had Sting and let's see, that's Sting and
Lex Luger, Kurt Angle,
and yeah, of course, and the Dudleys. It was just an amazing time, and these great talents that give their time to come to the CAC, we couldn't do it without them. And I hope it's very inexpensive to go for $45. You can get a hotel room. It's $150 for a reunion ticket that includes a bunch of entertainment and 2 free meals, beautiful meals, the awards banquets. We have seminars that's included in that. The only thing that won't be included is the roast, which will be $20 for members, because we're bringing in all these top comedians, and these guys we got to pay something to, and they're not as in love with the CAC, as passionate about the CAC as the rest of the wrestlers are, because we don't help the comedians, we help the wrestlers. So, but it just adds to the enhancement of roasting Mick Foley. So, people that aren't members have to pay $45 to get in, and there's always a benefit to being a CAC member, which you can join for only $35 in the US for a year, or $400 for a lifetime membership. And with that said, you can go to our website at caulifloweralleyclub.org. Check it out, join, donate, whatever you want to do, see who's going to be there, keep it up. Check us out on social media. When my close friend and great man, wonderful human being, Bob Cook, is runs our social media and does so much for the CAC. So we appreciate you for allowing us to mention the CAC on Ring the Damn Bell. And God bless you guys, man. It was just a pleasure to be here with you, KG, and good luck with everything. And tell those people about Raw and lay the smackdown, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on, Brian. I would love to have you back just for one-on-one. I know you're busy. I'm not picking on the spot. Don't answer. But just one day when you have time, come on and us talk about some wrestling stories and whatever else, more about the Public Morality Club. But thank you.
To tell that Andre the Giant Dusty story. That one.
God damn, Beepa. Yeah.
Well, you have a great night, Brian. I appreciate it.
That's great. Well, God bless you guys. Take care. Thank you so much once again. Mark, I just can't get over that. I got to come to your house sometime. We'll talk soon. Appreciate
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Cooker. Bye,
Yeah,
guys.
take it easy.
Good night. All right, let's get through this recap.
All right, so next we go to Chad Gable on the hunt for his luchador coach. $500 for a box, I guess.
Yep. Now, look, and this is just me reading into this. If you don't know Bob, TKO was in talks and had interest into buying Lucha Underground, which used to come on Netflix. Last night reminded me of Lucha Underground as far as the grittiness of it and the back alleys. And one thought that came across my mind, Bob and Mark, was will they possibly reveal that Lucha Underground is now open again? Will we see a possible first Lucha match for Chad Gable at Lucha Underground?
I don't see it myself, but what do I know? It was a product that wasn't around very long, and it was, although I enjoyed Lucha Underground, it wasn't very popular. Very few people watched it, or it would still be around. So who knows? Maybe they bought the library and they'll throw it on. I don't know. I watch Lucha Underground on some app that you can download into your TV.
Right. Mark?
But it was a great show. But you know what made Lucha Underground was the leader of it, that guy, Dario, whatever his name was, the guy who played the owner. He was hilariously and awesome in his role.
Yeah, he was. Your thoughts, Mark?
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I think that's a possibility. But you're talking, Evolve, you're talking LFG, you're talking NXT, SmackDown, Raw. These guys are spreading themselves pretty thin. They throw Lucha Underground on top of that. They've got the talent for it. Don't get me wrong. They've got plenty of talent. They could have a fourth or fifth brand or whatever it is. I don't see it. I could see somebody coming from Lucha Underground being his coach or whatever. I could see that.
Yeah.
I think the whole concept is nutty and crazy, and I think Chad Gable is showing a different side that we haven't seen before, possibly.
Yeah. And I have no doubt what he bought in the box was a mask.
I think they just bought for the video library, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I mean, he bought that box for $500.
Oh,
I think a mask was inside of that box.
probably.
Well, it better be El Santos match. Otherwise, probably not worth much. Or maybe Mil Mascaras.
Right.
Well, there's
All
a
right,
while.
What's next, Mark?
All right, so let's see. We go to War Raiders versus American Made. It was a good match, but I just couldn't get into it. I sorry.
If you lost your ever living mind, now I know that you are suffering lack of seat or something. That was the match of the night last night.
I couldn't.
Look, man, the brothers,
the Creed brothers,
they were just. I was so impressed because I'm not a big fan of theirs for whatever reason. But last night they gave me as a fan because they were doing shit that I didn't think that they could do. You could definitely tell that they have been working out hard in the ring from the first time we've seen them to now, because you're starting to see that they're getting more ripped. You start to see more muscle on them. Yeah, they absolutely gave the fan in me last night. I personally thought that they were terrific hit of the last night.
Well, welcome to the club, finally. But last night, I couldn't get into it. But I've been a fan since almost the get-go. I think these guys are top-notch.
Yeah. What about you, Bob?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I fast forwarded through that match, and I'm just being honest. Maybe I'll go back and watch it sometime.
All right. So
But don't hold your breath unless you want to die.
All right.
I
So
won't.
a recap of LWO losing last week. And to be honest, I fast forward through whatever Rey Mysterio.
I tell you what, that promo, you should go back and watch it. It was a really good promo. This is the best promo I've seen from the LWO. Now, was it so good that it has me so invested that I'm going to be running to the TV to watch that match? No, I'm just not invested in LWO. I think they're good, just not invested in them. But nonetheless, it was it was a good promo.
Fair enough. Then we go to Finn in the ring calling out Braun Breaker. This was kind of comical, I thought, to be honest. Judgment Day tries to attack Braun. Braun pretty much chases him off.
Yeah, and that's basically what it was.
Pretty much.
Not much to say about it.
Then we go to recap of Rock and Cody.
Again.
And then we go.
What happened there?
Huh?
What happened? What happened between Rock and Cody? Oh,
Take out a loan and buy a clue, Bob.
you know how many times I've watched that though? Like the hey Rock F you, and then the heel turn, just to watch the different people's faces each time. It's amazing. It's awesome.
All right, so next we go to Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley. You know what? I really like this match, and the ending, I was kind of taken aback. I didn't think Rhea would drop the belt.
I tell you what, I am not someone that often screams at the TV. There was no way, no way that I think in any way Rhea was going to lose that belt. And when Io Sky pinned her, I literally screamed, "Shut the fuck up!" My wife looked at me, think I was crazy. I was shocked, and I like it. I love being swerved when I watch wrestling. Love being swerved. And between John Cena and Rhea dropping her belt, I mean, WWE seems to be full of surprises right now because they've swerved me a few times in the past few days. Absolutely. So now we're gonna have Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. Question is, will this turn into a three-way match with Rhea Ripley? I'm saying yes. As
It
Bob
should.
say, we'll sit and see, watch and see.
Yeah, I think it should though, and that was a good match too. It was a great match with an ending that made you say, "Oh, I didn't see that coming," and that's the best. Everybody says it's so predictable, blah, blah, and all the people complaining. Rhea shouldn't have won. Who cares? It's not going to solve. It's not going to. It's not going to solve your problems whether she wins or loses. Enjoy the show.
Well, yeah, what it did do was it made me more excited to see what's going to happen next week. Just like I'm excited to see what's going to happen Friday Night SmackDown. And that's how wrestling should be. When you end watch one show, you should want more and be excited about the following shows to come up. So, yeah, absolutely. I would give Raw last night, if I was so great, a B plus 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 plus.
I'd give it a B plus.
Yep, same here.
See, I only went B because I figured you guys would give me shit if I said A. So fine, I'll give it A plus because last night, and maybe you guys didn't feel it. Last night myself, it had that PLE feeling, the energy. I felt like I was watching a second PLE from Raw in a matter of a couple of days.
You know, honestly, I kind of expected Rhea to lose the belt because there was something about the way they were pitching that match last night, more so than they have in the past, where it almost gave me that benefit of doubt that Rhea was going to drop that belt. There was just something about it last night that I instinctively knew that Rhea was going to lose. You know, even though so shocked and surprised because whether I thought it or not, I didn't expect it.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like the whole thing that happened in the Elimination Chamber with John Cena. To me, WWE kind of gave away by allowing John Cena to stay in the ring when Cody was going to give his answer to The Rock. But it still surprised the shit out of me, even though I had that thought process. Sums up because John Cena's in the ring. I still popped when he turned heel. So I completely understand what you're saying, Mark. Completely.
Yeah. No, I don't know what it was, but there was something that the way they were just pushing that match. It just told me that Rhea was going to lose, and I'm like, no, there's no way she's going to lose, but it just felt like she was going to lose. But I kept thinking, no, there's no way she's going to lose. And then she lost.
Yeah. I agree. But, that kind of it does. It is the recap of Monday Night Raw. And I tell you, this has to be my favorite recap we've done thus far. Having both Brian and Bob on. I mean, the amount of knowledge that we had in this room, just with those two, definitely not us. We could have probably talked for hours and picked their brains. So, Bob, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you setting this up. I really, really do. You're great, and this is why you're one of the guests.
Well, Brian's a great guy. I love Brian, and he proves it every time he does stuff like this because he has a wealth of knowledge and he remembers a lot. Remembers a lot more than I do, I think. Maybe not always, not the years of WrestleMania, but most of the time.
But he's not as superficial as you. That's what makes you.
Well, that's
you.
a good thing.
That's right. That's what makes you you. And like I always tell you, never change. The day the day you come on this podcast, and you're not the superficial Bob Cook, you break my heart.
Well, to be honest, the superficial Bob was enjoying Rhea Ripley's match last night for other reasons than just the match. I'll just say that.
And I think I said Bob Hart for Bob Cook. But anyway, Mark, do you have anything going on, my man? You need to announce?
No, I don't think so.
Cool. After we get off this, give me a call so you and I can talk for a second. Cooker. I'll give you a call.
All right.
The Cooker, I know you have some things coming up. Talk about it.
Well, I have a wrestling show coming up on March 15th in Inglewood, Florida, where I'm getting in a ring again. That's ridiculous. I'm actually getting in a ring on Friday with my son. We're going to work out. And then we have wrestling training Sundays at 2 p.m. here at this place in Inglewood. And I also got some Bob Cook trading cards. I don't have many left that people have been buying. I know I'm a nobody and a nothing, but hey, for $15, I'll mail it to you. I'll even sign it. I won't sign my name because it's real sloppy. I'll get someone else to sign it so it'll look nice. But yeah, that's about it.
Absolutely somebody.
Yeah.
And, I told Brian I would love him to come back to a one-on-one. You and I had to cancel, or you had to cancel the one-on-one interview we were doing. There's issues. We need to reschedule that. I would like to have this done sometime in April.
I watched that interview you did with Casey Thompson, and I'm disappointed he didn't mention me because we traveled the roads together. So, Casey, you're on the list.
So, actually,
Jericho retired the list. I got a new one, and you just made it.
Actually, Bob, after the show, thank you for having me. You wanted me to tell you hello.
Oh,
You're a great guy. I know you watched that podcast, that interview, and I embarrassed myself on it because I called him Casey Anthony when I introduced him, and I didn't catch it until after the fact. I apologized to him, and I would like to make a public apology to Casey. I'm so sorry that I did that. It was whatever my reasons were. It was completely unprofessional. I should have not done that. Because I also, when I put the description, that's the name I put in it as well. And YouTube allowed me to edit it, but every time I want to publish it on social media, it still comes back at that. And I've been too embarrassed to actually publish it. And a lot of people have called me on my memory. I was involved in a pretty bad accident in 2017 that affected my spinal cord. Medication that I'm on for it just completely fucked with my memory. That's not an excuse.
you got any of that medication left? I mean, you don't want to use it. I got an address where mail gets delivered. Just saying.
Oh man, I wish I didn't have to take it because it does. It messes with my memory a lot. But I'm
There's a
aware
lot
of
of things
that.
I'd like to forget, so you know, you could
At the
use that.
least, I should have written Casey's name down on my keyboard so I didn't screw it up because there's much more respect for that because the man's a legend in his own right. He's had a lot of matches against a lot of legends. So again, Casey, if you have to watch this, I am absolutely sorry for doing that. But anyway, this wraps up the recap of Monday Night Raw. Oh, Jesus, of Monday Night Raw. The recap, of Monday Night Raw. We will be back on Thursday to do a recap of Dynamite. A week from Monday, Mr. Herb Simmons is going to be on the podcast. If you guys don't know who he is, the man's been in business for 55 plus years. He has his own promotion, and he has pretty much had everybody come through his promotion at one point or time. The guy that helps with training is Cowboy Bob Orton, who has Aces. I think it's called Aces Wrestling School. And if you guys don't recognize that name, you've been living under the rock. That is Randy Orton, his dad. So looking forward to that interview, and I have a few more after that. I'm pretty much booked for the rest of this month. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for both of you guys being here. And Mark, what do you always say?
Ring the damn bell already.
Ring the damn bell, guys. You have a great night. Woo!
Oh, there we go.